Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending whenever you're watching. Welcome to yet another episode of my weekly Wednesday live broadcast. For those who are here for the first time, my name is Juha Ruokangas, your humble servant on a mission from the gods, from the goddesses of fretted instruments. I'm happy to be here, happy that you are here with me, watching, listening, my fellow travelers in time. I can see that there's already quite a few comments here. Hey guys, hello everyone. Damien, Vincent, Mibu, Tobias, Greg, Amar. Hi guys. Keep on writing those comments. This is going to be intense today, so let's hope I have time to follow your comments. If not, I'll be looking at them later on. But anyways, welcome. Glad that you're here. So, what are we going to talk about today? Let's see. Our title: How to Become the Guitarist or Bassist You've Always Wanted to Be. Well, in that thumbnail image of this video, did you see that? I at least look like a guitarist, don't I? I think so. Well, that's one way to begin. That's one way to begin. To look like a guitarist you always wanted to be, or to become. I mean, well, that's that's one way to do it. One way to begin. One way to begin. More people joining in. Great. Welcome, everyone. Okay, boys and girls, story time. 3 years ago, and my apologies if I've already told you this story and these stories. I don't think so, but maybe I've told at least some bits and pieces of it. If I have, my apologies. I can't remember. There's been already so many of these episodes that it's getting blurry in my mind. What are the things I've talked about? Maybe, in a year or two, if I continue doing these, I'll be more and more repeating myself for two reasons: that I just don't have anything new to say, and two, I'm getting older and more dement, and I'm just repeating myself. So bear with me. 3 years ago, around this time of the year, it was a dark, cold winter here in Finland, at least. And, well, I was pretty down. I was feeling tired all the time. Lack of motivation, didn't get things done. Somehow depressed and anxious. And this had been going on for a few months. Kind of slowly spiraling down to that gloomy mode. And then I happened to get this newsletter from a Finnish guy whose radio shows I listened to at the time. And in his newsletter, the guy invited me to take part to his morning walks. Morning walks. Up in the morning, out the door, rain or shine or snow, like in Finland, with him. Well, not literally with him, but the idea was that while walking, I would listen to him talking. While he was walking, wherever he was walking. And I would listen to the guy on my earpods. And the guy's name is Jari Sarasvuo. Most of my Finnish followers probably recognize the name. Well, anyways, he wrote in his newsletter how depressed he felt that winter and how much he wanted to somehow shake off that gloomy state of mind. And these morning walks would force him to do so, because he promised his followers that he would do these morning walks, and so he would be forced to do. And he wrote that if he would succeed to get the grip of the day already early in the morning, maybe the rest of the day would go smoother too. Like, get the morning going right, and the rest of the day will come as a little bonus or something. Well, I like the idea, and at the same time, I was terrified. Why? Well, because the only way I could make it work in my life without completely messing up our family morning schedules, our son's school and so on, I would have to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. 5 a.m. in the morning. and sneak out silently, do my morning walk with my earpod mentor Jari, and be back by 6 a.m. ish, something like that. Take a shower, and then I'd be in sync with the rest of the family. Breakfast together, so on. And this was important because otherwise my strange new habit would have started controlling the lives of the other family members too. Like my wife would have had to take care of the morning routines while the husband is out walking with the Zen master or something. So, and that wasn't fair. I didn't feel that wouldn't have been fair to my family. So okay, I was terrified, but somehow it did become a habit, and I got used to the new rhythm pretty quick. Get up early, do my own thing in peace and quiet. I mean, here on the countryside, Finland, 5 a.m. It is literally very peaceful, very quiet, nobody out. And so it's really, really calming to do it. And by the time I would be back, I would be showered. Morning by morning, I would start feeling better. Like, really, like being in control of my mornings, rather than waking up to the alarm, snoozing for as many times as possible, getting up last minute, being forced to do all the routines in the nick of time. And with the new routine, by the time the workday started, I'd be already, with the old routine, by the time the workday started, I'd be already exhausted, tired, and ready to call it a day. But yeah, so I did manage to recover from my winter depression at that time 3 years ago. And I think everybody around me must have noticed the difference. My family, obviously, the most drastically. So it worked until I stopped doing it. Now, why would I stop doing it when it worked so well? Because deep down, the song Manic Depression by Jimi Hendrix? Well, that's me. Manic depression or manic depressive personality. I often dive into a project. I give the new pet project my everything, my all, my best in this manic state of mind until I don't anymore. And I would sink into somewhere else. A gloomy depression I described earlier that then drove me to do those morning walks 3 years ago. So it's a kind of a what comes to me in waves. And well, since that first morning walk period that lasted from December 2018 until the following autumn, so over 6 months, I have from time to time began the same morning routine. The morning walks, not with my earpod Zen master, but with myself. So the last time I started doing this was just a couple of weeks ago. So I've been getting up at 5 a.m. now for a while, and my state of mind is starting to look up again. And I like it a lot. I like it a lot how it feels. So okay, that's the story. And what does that have to do with becoming the guitarist you have always wanted to be? Well, let's see if I find a way to tie the threads together, to find the common thread between these two things. Because during that first period of my morning walks, I was listening to these podcasts of that guy, like I told, my Zen master, Jari. And his talks were quite brilliant, I think. Not polished or perfectly thought out, but it was more like, well, I don't know, like a human being talking to another human being, like me talking to you here, right? So I got inspired by his talk, so much so that I decided to take a course by that guy. Like course meaning like pay him money so he would be my coach for some time. So I did. And on that course, which was mind-blowing in many ways, there was this one particular lesson, this method he was talking about that struck a chord for me personally. I remember I was totally over the moon with the realization how this method, how it could help me, how it could help our business. And so I went and, told about it to Emma, and she was thrilled about it too. And that is the connection, because that method, when executed right, it can help you go where you want to go. So if that's where you want to go, if you want to be the greatest guitarist in the world, that's what you'll get with this method, eventually, inevitably. A tool. Okay, well, you know what I mean. It's something you will understand. It's a tool that I blatantly stole from Jari Sarasvuo. Thank you, Jari. But I think he most likely stole it from someone else. It's kind of a classic, but anyways. So, how to become the guitarist you have always wanted to be? How to become? Practice more. Yeah. Well, technically speaking, that's it. And after you've put 10,000 hours more to playing your instrument, you will be significantly better than you're now. Right. Let me see one comment, because I noticed somebody had commented. Somebody had already given us an answer here. That was Vincent. Let's look at it. I'm curious. Vincent says, good question. He'd say, find a master luthier, get a guitar that suits you well, find and take lessons from a great teacher, dedicate your playing, and 5, love what you're doing. That sounds good. That sounds great. Will it take you there? Will it make you that guitarist that you've always wanted to be? It might, but I might have something more for you. Let's hear this out. Yeah, so after you put 10,000 hours to playing your guitar, you will be better. That's for sure. But I find life often doesn't go quite that way. Because life takes funny turns, and sometimes you end up drifting with it to some extent. And in my opinion, it might not be the best idea to drift. Maybe for someone else, that is exactly the right way to do, drift through life. And be happy that way. That's perfectly okay. No, not one word of critic for that. But for someone like myself, who wants to reach for some kind of higher purpose or better understanding, or, I just have it inbuilt in me. So we have to take control. We have to set goals, right? So let's talk about setting goals. So a goal would be like, an example. To be the guitarist I have always wanted to be, I have to be more disciplined with myself. That's a goal, right? I have to be more disciplined with myself. I need to practice more from now on to be that guitarist, right? Or in other aspects of our life, setting goals like, I have to be thinner, I have to be stronger, I want to be financially independent, whatever it is. So, and that could work. How has it worked out for you, setting such goals? Because for me, it just really, setting that kind of a goal, it's kind of like a New Year's resolution. It just does not work. The reality is that changing my identity, sculpting my personality to be something else it is, something, maybe it's self-indulgence, or I don't know, to be more disciplined or whatever, or on the long run, to keep on being more disciplined, such a long time that it will take you where you want to go, to change yourself, to change myself. I think it's the hardest ever challenge in any individual's life. That's what I think. Sorry guys, reading the comments, and I found Mibu's comment that I love. I totally love it. It's about making peace with yourself, forgiving yourself and the whole world. That's very much to do with everything. To stop blaming others and just find yourself. We made other videos. I made other videos about this actually. There's the video about the meaning of life. Reflections of the Past, the Meaning of Life. Watch that if you haven't watched it. That's talking about what Mibu's talking there. But today we have a little bit different perspective to it, a little bit more pragmatic, and that's it. More pragmatic, practical approach to it. So if setting goals and self-discipline doesn't so easily help in the long span, what does help? Well, here comes the big secret. Daily habits. Habits, that's it. Really, habits. Winning habits, winning ways in small enough portions. What does it mean? Well, it means that we human beings, we tend to want too much, and we tend to want it too fast. We want to force the world. We want to buy our way in. We want to buy that happiness. And we absolutely underestimate, at the same time, we underestimate the power of our mind, of our ego that does not want us to change. Our mind wants all that entertainment. Our mind wants all the routines it has gotten used to over the years. It wants its chocolate. It wants its Netflix. It wants that soft couch. And when trying to change our mind, we're facing a monster that will defend its territory with all its might. Think of me, even the thought of it. Oh my God, 5 a.m. in the morning. I will die if I have to get up that early. Because I hadn't before. I mean, I had gotten up at like 7 or 7:30 or 8 or something like that. So 5 a.m. was just brutal. And then the alarm goes off at 5 and I'm like, oh, what was I thinking? The bed is so soft, no way I'll get up. In fact, I love to sleep longer. I've deserved it. I've deserved it. Mind, 1. Juha's goal in life, 0. A lost battle. The mind, But remember, the war is just beginning. Maybe I lost the battle, but So what happens there? So we freak out and whoops, we fall back to the old habit. So how to push the new habit through? Because it can't work as a mighty resolution like, this declaration like from tomorrow morning on for the duration of my life or even the duration of 2021, I will get up at 5 a.m. It's a devastating, shocking promise to make. And my mind will, my ego and everything inside me, my that I've used to, it protests like big time. The rest of my life, 5 a.m. Oh no! But there is a workaround that bypasses our mind's defense mechanisms. Because, see, I don't really need to promise anybody anything. I don't need to think. That will fool my ego and fool my mind. I will just do it once. One day at a time. Remember, habits, daily habits in small chunks. One day at a time. And then I do it again. But only once. Baby steps. When I lay down to sleep tonight, I know that tomorrow morning I'll get up. That's enough. I don't need to think further than that. After 2 weeks doing that, the new habit starts winning. And my body wants to get up. It wakes up just about before the alarm goes off. And my mind, that deceiving bastard who wanted to, just lazing in bed, it has started to like the new habit a little bit. It has started to like the feeling, how these morning walks make the body feel. Not much, but it likes it a little bit, So the new habit starts kind of kicking in. Great, we have somebody else here trying the 5 a.m. method. Okay, that's good. 5 a.m. method is not our tool that we're talking to talk about. This is just leading into it, but so bear with me. The secret has not been spilled yet. Yeah, it's still, yeah, okay. So in other words, a good kind of a goal is not something magnificent, is not something that is beyond the horizon, you know, something that we cannot grasp, because that kind of a goal paralyzes us, it freaks us out. But at the same time, a good goal shouldn't be so easy either that you wouldn't need to step outside your comfort zone a little bit. I would say that's a kind of a definition that I feel like a nice goal. And it has to be something that can be, you know, split to little chunks, that, because we have only one day at a time. Setting good kind of goals that we can manage in one day. That's how we can achieve. And here, finally, sorry it took so long. Here comes the tool, the method. Here comes the method. Should we have a name for the method? I think we should. I'll call it now. I just made up this name actually today. I call it Mirror Mirror on the Wall tool. And let's see. Mirror Mirror on the wall. Okay. I'm gonna show it to you here. Here's our Mirror Mirror on the Wall tool. See? I've drawn a few lines. I didn't draw the lines, I just wrote that text now. Okay. Let's see if that name makes any sense. We'll find out later. I'm not sure yet because I came up with the name like half an hour ago. But look, here it is. So first, I will write down a few keywords that help us to calibrate our brain. So bear with me. I think this is maybe a bit challenging thing, you know. I haven't done this kind of a video, but bear with me. I think it's going to be cool. So, a few keywords in order to want something from the world, from the universe. First, I need a clear idea. What is it that I want? So our first keyword is clarity, okay? Write it down. There you go, clarity. There. That is the first keyword. And when I am clear of what I want, I need focus in order to stay on the path today. I need focus in order to stay on the path today, the duration of today. So I need focus. After I found my clarity, what I want, I need focus. And finally, in order to get what I want, I need to be patient, and I need to have a lot of those focused days when I stay on the path. So what I will need is endurance. Clarity, focus, endurance. Okay, that's our third keyword today. And I have here these 4 compartments. Okay, these here 4 compartments. There's these arrows pointing up, down, left, right. Okay, I'll write to the top a word, 2 words. See here. Okay, there you go. I wrote big task. What does that mean? For me, in my professional life, a single big task could be, for example, you know, it could be design and build valbucker for bass. That's a pretty big task. Or another big task could be for me, you know, start doing a weekly Wednesday live broadcast on YouTube. That could be another pretty big task. It could be even a bigger task, like, you know, start a guitar making company. Or maybe for you, a big task could be, for example, write music for that solo album that I wanted to do so long. Or learn to read sheet music, if that's maybe something that you struggle with and you would love to do that, but you just haven't gotten around. In other words, these big tasks are jobs that they don't get ready in a day or two. You need weeks, months, or even years. Write a book type of stuff. Tasks that you really need to focus for a long time to achieve it for real. Okay? So often these big tasks, they're difficult to approach and very easy to postpone. Okay? Like, I'll start next week. It's a great thing. I would so much love to do it, but mañana, next week, tomorrow. Okay. So next we'll write to the bottom another. Is this weird? I guess it's weird. Small task. So that's the stuff, small task, it's the stuff. Let me explain you one thing. Everything above the horizontal line, that would be the big tasks. Everything below the horizontal line, that could be, for my guitar company, things like make a daily social media post, or answer emails, or take a morning walk, for example. Generally, tasks that are small enough, that you can finish them off in anywhere between 10 minutes and a few hours of time. Stuff that sometimes gets overlooked because it's so small and doesn't maybe feel so important on that given moment, but kind of should be done to support your goals in life. And then we'll write to the right side a word. I'm going to write it this way. You need to turn your heads to be able to read it. Sorry about my horrible handwriting, but it says there fulfillment. So the vertical line, things to the right from the vertical line, they are stuff that literally fulfill you with joy. Joy from succeeding, joy from learning, joy from achieving. Like for my guitar company, it could be, to be able to just simply, one big fulfilling task is to be able to do a job that I love to do, a job that doesn't necessarily every day at least feel like a job at all. A job that I started 25 years plus years ago, or maybe hobby that I started like 30 years ago, that in order to, so I could do that, so I wouldn't need to get a job. Well, anyway. Or it could be something more tangible, like guitar, for me, like make the Guitar Creator application for all my instruments available for computer browsers and for mobile devices. That could be like something that fulfills, takes our company further, and brings us enjoyment, because it makes our job more fun, and it makes our job easier, and it makes your ordering those guitars more fun, and so on, and easier. So, or if you're at the very beginning of making a dream come true, your dream come true, it could be find a good guitar teacher. Learn to play guitar. If you haven't, you want to learn to play guitar, but you haven't so far. So find a good guitar teacher. That could be one, task on the right side of on the fulfillment segment of your board. And next we'll write to the left page. Write another word. you go. Peace of mind. Okay. That way. Sorry. Yeah. Peace of mind, fulfillment. So on the left side, from the vertical line, anything written to the left of the vertical line, that's tasks that are not maybe making your dreams come true, but they're important nonetheless. Stuff that needs to be done, period. Like life commitments. Again, for my company, it could be, plan the budget for 2021 or do the inventory for the closing of the books and so on. It could be something like that. Stuff that it's just, you just have to do it. And if you don't do it, you're going to be in trouble. Okay. So then the last bit to keep us alert. Now here comes a very important part. Clean the bathroom. That's a great one. Poo Ninja nailed it. That will be one task to the peace of mind section of our board. And now I'm going to add one more thing to the middle. It looks like that. And I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it the black hole. The time-munching monster, the black hole. What is that? Well, in the middle, it's there to remind us of all that activity that threatens to take away our precious time, that is just slipping through our fingers, a precious time that we could use to all the real stuff that we know we want to, so much want to do, and the black hole that is also stealing time from tasks we know we'll be in trouble if we don't do. Time thieves, In my life, a typical black hole time thief could be Facebooking, like the type of Facebooking, or Instagram feed, staring at my Instagram feed with mouth open and empty eyes, like so. Or watching too much YouTube, guys. You can watch this important stuff, but you can watch whatever you do. But I mean, this is in my life. These are the time thieves, the black hole where all the time goes if I'm not alert. It could be also something a bit more difficult to spot if you can follow me, like indifference, lack of focus. Meaning that if let's say I'm tired and I don't focus enough in order to get to that flow where good stuff starts happening. Like, when you're playing, when you get to the flow, it's like a different planet. The time disappears. You just get to the flow and the good stuff starts happening. And when time disappears, when it's not a task anymore, but it's the flow of inspiration and I'm enjoying. Because always, when you're in that flow, you're enjoying, you're alive. So, not focusing enough, not getting to that flow state of mind, but still you're working and you're kind of not giving your best. That could be another time thief. You're using your time like that, even though it would be maybe a good time to look at your board and look there on the small task section, on the fulfillment side of it. You could read here, take a breather outdoors and get out of that, snap out of that indifferent state of mind so you can focus and so you can be your best. Other times, for other people, time thieves could be alcohol, or maybe addictive, excessive usage of whatever entertainment media such as Netflix or whatever. So black hole, that's the one. We just need to know that it's there. Okay, so there it is, the tool There it is, the tool. You can take a screenshot of that if you want. Well, like so. There it is. But what do you do with it? Well, you stare at it. You sit down, you have coffee, you observe your life. Where are you in your life? What is good? What are the things you don't like so much in your life? Stare the truth in the eye, which is why I wrote the title, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. It tells us the truth. Okay, make notes, make more notes, erase, fix, improve. It's a work in progress. The idea is that you gather your life activities here, the big tasks that you never do because they're so difficult to start, that book you want to write, that album you want to record, whatever it is, the small tasks that you avoid to do or forget to do, pay the invoices, so, do the tax declaration, whatever, and the threads in the middle of the black hole, in the middle to the black hole there. And you can use this as a guide, as a reminder, and it can be a powerful time management tool. The stuff you manage to write down, you can then process further. Let me show you a photo. Let me show you a photo. Where did I put that photo though? Here. Ah, there. Okay, it's blurry, I know. But this is how the wall behind, in this office right there, you don't see it here, but it's there. It's that wall behind Emma's desk. That's how it looks like in our office. It's blurry on purpose because it's filled with top secret projects. Anyways, it's a big wall, a big mirror on the wall, and we manage it with these post-it stickers. And we might have there a big task on the right that says, let's say, Zen and the Art of Guitar Maintenance video series. That's something that didn't exist a couple of years ago, but it's been in our mind for a long time to do something like that. Now we began with that, so it's coming. We could have on the left, we could have photograph and upload more birch tops to the Guitar Creator. Or recently we had there a post-it saying, plan our 25th anniversary online party. So, okay, so you get the point. This, and yeah, I'll show it again. On the sides, you see here, on the side columns, so we have these post-its there, and we're using this. I'll actually explain it in a while. Yeah, I'll bring the photo back then. Sometimes this works for us better, sometimes worse, depending on our peace of mind and our stress levels, Emma's and mine. Because this time management tool, the mirror on the wall, it's something that Emma and I use, and the actual guitar making, which happens downstairs. We have to do sometime a workshop tour where we kind of go through. It'd be cool with some kind of 360-degree camera where you could join. But anyway, downstairs where the guitars are made, we have another kinds of time management tools to keep the schedules the best way we can. But this is something that Emma and I use upstairs here in the office. And the idea is that I will tell you very concrete so you understand how we use it. So, if this would make sense for you. So Emma and I, we begin every week. We don't begin every week because we're not perfect. Some weeks we don't begin it in front of this board, but some weeks, the more the better. The idea for us that we begin every week in front of this board, the mirror on the wall, and we discuss how Emma and I would like this week to turn out. So from those side columns, I'll bring back the picture. From those side columns, we pick the stuff we want to work on that week. And we pick those tasks from the sides to those 4 segments, and we use the board as the basis to collect each of our daily to-do lists. So there could be a post-it saying, for example, make the Riddler guitar spotlight article to the website. There could be another one saying, engrave the Eon serial 045 or whatever it is. Engrave the inlays. It's actually here. It's waiting. It's a pretty cool guitar. There are the inlays. Where do you see them? Yeah. But without the engravings. Engrave the Eon inlays. And so Emma might plan her week like, okay, on Thursday morning I'll do the Riddler article, and in the afternoon I'll photograph tops. And I might decide on Thursday I'll pick a topic. First thing, so I don't forget, I'll pick a topic for the next week live stream. After that I'll engrave those inlays, and in the afternoon I'll answer emails. That could be my to-do list for, and I would like, we would have the weekly thing on that wall, right? And Emma and I would pick our daily to-do lists every morning. That what am I going to do today? Or maybe plan it a little bit, and on Monday, how is the week going to look like? So it's not totally like overwhelming or whatever. And did you say the Riddler? Yes, I did say the Riddler. It's in the works. It's in the works. It's not far from being published, the article. And the video. There's coming a very cool video. So, one important aspect, to consider with this tool. Because in the modern time, our work, I would say 9 out of 10 of our work, we get so easily interrupted repeatedly by all kinds of disturbances. The phone beeps, email inbox clings, then you check Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and all of a sudden you notice at the end of the day that the only thing you succeeded in doing was, 1 or 2 of those little tasks, but none of the big projects that are actually the important stuff. None of the big stuff moved on at all. Why? Because those big tasks they're challenging. It's not so easy to grasp on such a big, how to begin, especially if you haven't started. Write a book. What does it even mean? How do I start writing a book? Well, that's the thing. You split, then you take that project and you split it into these little chunks that you can daily work on. And so you bring on your post-it, or we bring on our post-it that says, if I have no idea how to write a book, I will make myself a task for this week. Google and find a book about writing books. Stephen King's or somebody, he has made a book about writing. So whatever, stuff like that. So you get somewhere. You have to begin. Okay. So let's say that. You have a task, record my first solo album among your big tasks. Well, you won't get it done in a day. But in order to get it started, my advice is that you begin the day by focusing to that important big project. That is an important step on your way to that fulfillment, to that dream come true. Okay. So in the morning, 1, get the grip somehow. Take a walk, a cold shower, or both. Something to wake up your body and your mind. And number 2, in the morning, before lunch, focus to the important stuff that you really want to get ready one day. That stuff that you feel that this is something that I really want to get done. I really want to achieve that in my life. Okay. Work on that stuff in the morning. That book you've dreamed of writing, or the important stuff that you really, that's another thing. Or you might take the morning to that important stuff that you really have to get done, like the tax declaration, whatever. Switch your phone off, put it silent or something. And then in the afternoon, when your energy level starts to get a bit, you start to get a bit tired already, then focus to get as many of those bits and pieces, that fragmented scrap, all that stuff that is, okay, it's important, but it doesn't remain your 100%, your very best focus. Maybe answering the emails, so social media posts that might advance your band's career in the long run, maybe, when you keep posting them every day for a long period of time. Those fragmented bits and pieces, right? Yeah. Greg says here, you may have a small tip to help focus on the big projects. There's a button on your phone called airplane mode. Yeah, it's there. It's there. And last but not least, all of this, yes, you can plan the future, and you can observe and sort of look at your life. What is it that you could have here maybe stuff also that you realize that I don't like my job. So maybe that becomes one of your big tasks, that you really need to work on that. You need to do something, so you would find a better place, find a better way of spending so much valuable hours of your life. If you really hate your job, or maybe it's a relationship that needs to be either fixed, or dropped or something. So those, it could be your private life, it could be everything, in the small tasks. If you are in a relationship, in the small tasks, daily tasks or weekly tasks or whatever, that doesn't take so much time, you could say there, remember to make love. Stuff like that. And when you have it all planned out, remember that you can only achieve it one day at a time, in small chunks. You don't need to think of the big stuff every day and make you all stressed and exhausted of all the big stuff, that all of a sudden it becomes like, it brings on the anxious ideas of that, it's so much, I will never be able to. One day at a time, and then we go to sleep, and then there's another day. Small chunks. We can only do our best. One day at a time. So as a summary, how does this tool help you become the guitarist you've always wanted to be? Because when you plan this right, it shows you the truth. Because by setting those clear goals, by focusing to the daily doses of those winning habits that slowly but surely take you to the right direction, then all you need to do today is to endure. Clarity, focus, endurance. All you need to do is today is to endure this one day. You have to stay on the path. I'll repeat that. All you need to do today is to stay on the path. And when you stumble, like we all do regularly, when you stumble, all you need to do is to climb up and get back on the path. Remember, when you stumble, it doesn't mean you failed and you need to abandon your project, or you need to abandon your winning habit of morning walk. Okay, this morning I slept over. I couldn't get myself up. I haven't failed. It only means I need to get up on the path tomorrow. I need to stay on the path, and when I fall from the path, I need to climb back on the path. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Let me see a couple of comments here. There's been so much comments, people, that I don't think I have possibility to read all this now. And this is going to be very boring for you. There's so much people. Great. That's really great. George says, how do you spell his name? Do you mean my name? Spell his name. Whose name? Tell me whose name you want to be spelled. Ah, okay. Jari Sarasvuo. Okay, there it is. Okay, Tuomas Timonen has already answered. Well, this guy, Jari Sarasvuo, I don't think he's written anything in English. I'm sorry about that. I really love... I'm going to bring this again. Mibu. It's about making peace with yourself and forgiving yourself and the whole world. That's... Christian Hain is asking how to become an endorser of your brand. That's a good question. Okay. Eat more guitars. Okay. Okay. Damien, I believe it's more important to find the string player who lives within yourself and make yourself confident with that. That's very, very well put. That's very well put. Exactly. That's it. And that's the kind of things, you know. If you feel that you haven't found that player, there's one task for you. How to get on with that. Of course, I don't have the answer for every question, but this is something that can be used basically for any walk of life, for any situation. I find it's pretty good. There is, of course, a million different kinds of, you know, this kind of stuff, but I found this quite useful in my life. So, in our lives. TJ is saying, I'm terrible at forming new habits that just don't seem to stick. Exactly, it is, and you're not alone. This is something that we all struggle with. You know, getting a new habit to stick, it's really hard, and it's proven so that it's for a human being to change behavior on long-term basis from one way to another way. It's a difficult task, and that's why if you watch this video from the start and kind of, you know, get to those points of how can you cheat your overbearing monster mind, your ego that wants to keep its territory, you know, how can you fool it? And it's really just small chunks, one day at a time, the winning ways. Stay on the path, and when you fall, get up on the path. You know. Kingsley, hey, you're here. Cool. Okay, so Ilkka says here, what does Ilkka say? I've tried the 5 a.m. method, but modified it. 20-minute run, cold shower, 45-minute distraction-free guitar practice for 66 days. Was supposed to become habit, but didn't. Was interesting though. Yeah, this is possible. It you know, and this is all like also experiments. And after those 66 days, you might observe the situation. You might like look back at it. Is it something that you want? And you can always get back to it. And sometimes it is possible. I can testify that it is possible to really win the old habits and get rid of an old habit and replace it with a new habit. I can testify. I mean, that one typical big example in that kind of field would be you know, habit of using alcohol, which I had a certain way of using alcohol which wasn't very productive for me. It wasn't good for me. So I ended up being 5 or 6 or 7, something, 5 years at least, I ended up being like absolutely sober, no, not one drop. And that kind of resetted my mind and my system. So I nowadays it's different. So glass of wine, it's good, but I don't have any needs of go further than that, in the way that I used to have, which was really not a healthy way for me. And yeah, so it's possible. It's difficult, but it's possible. Very good comments. Vesa says, my son is autistic and always up early. I'm over 50, so it's easier to wake up early. Yeah, so you've developed this habit with the help of your son, right? So it's easy for you. It's your habit, and it's of course, that's the way it is. It's kind of like when people say that I'm like a morning person, I'm like an evening person. I always considered myself as an evening person. But nowadays, even if I kind of have these fallbacks from my habit of getting up early and kind of that I feel that I'm happier when I'm doing it, I have these fallbacks. I don't think I'm an evening person. That's just rubbish. It's just something I've gotten used to over so many decades that it's just so it's just so deep in me. But it doesn't make, Fran, you're here too. I didn't notice your comment. Fran says, I was in the same situation. Something that helps me was the book The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. The idea is not about find the right way, but be focused on the light who illuminates its way. Good. Great. I think we even have that book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, but I don't think I've read the book. But we have very much books. We have a big library, so it's no wonder that I haven't necessarily yet read every book in our library. Thank you for the good tips, Fran and everyone. Mibu says, my book is called A Course of Miracles. Great. I'm going to bring in these comments. This is good stuff. Reiner says, it helped me to get addicted to bass by practicing something every day that brings you something that always takes you a step further. First, start with small hurdles. Exactly. Brilliant, Reiner. And a cool bass in your avatar. You're most welcome, Kai. Kai writes, thank you, Juha. You reveal your strength with your honesty. Stay well. Stay well, you too, Kai. Stay well, all of you guys. Yeah. Very good comments. Kingsley, black hole time suck of today, trying to find black mustard seeds. There you go. Life steps on the way. And there is one thing that we have written, Emma and I have written to our board, to our mirror on the wall. It says there that, expect the unexpected. The plans never can really iron out exactly as you wanted them to. There's always the unexpected. It's life. And that's something that you need to really accept. It just keeps coming. It doesn't stop. George says, I think there are more and more stuff to waste our time on. We don't have much time anymore. We're not here forever. Exactly. So to this end, this could also help. And in addition to this, I've recommended to you guys earlier on a book and on some other episode. It's called the Essentialism. I think it's called Essentialism. Maybe it's not called Essentialism. But to really to focus and find the important stuff and try to get rid of that stuff that you don't need in your life. Because at the end of the day, there's really no good excuse. there's really, guys, I mean, if when I'm doing that, when there's that you know, that Instagram feed, and I'm there, like, there is no excuse. It's just not necessary. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Thank you, people, for your very good comments. It is 10 p.m. in Finland. I want to thank Jari Sarasvuo, you know, without whom this episode wouldn't obviously have been possible, because, you know, I've stolen his idea, which he probably stole from someone else. I also want to thank Tomi Tiittanen when you're watching this. Maybe you're listening to the podcast. I can't remember which channel you're. Remember, guys, this is also available as a podcast, so you can watch it on YouTube, or you can listen it on podcast on Spotify, on Apple Music, wherever, on tons of different podcast platforms. So Tomi Tiittanen for bringing up the idea of talking about this method. You know, because Tommy saw the board next to my desk when he visited the shop and asked what it is, and I explained to him a bit, and yeah, it's been there literally right next to me for years, but never thought I could talk about it to you guys. Well, now I did, and I hope it will help you as it has helped me, and it has helped us. And yeah, this was another episode of not so much direct talk about guitars, but as the previous one, I think this one was, of course, all about guitars, all about playing guitar, about making guitar. Or in fact, this is valid for anyone, for any walk of life. If you want to get your head organized, you know, observe your life, the big picture, the daily routines, so your life could be more in sync with what you dream your life would be like. Get those two images closer to each other, or those two, that reality, that dream image inside your mind, because it's as real as, you know, it's real in your mind, but if your reality is kind of very far from it, you're going to be unhappy. So this is the attempt to get your dream and your life more in sync together. And remember, when I talk about this stuff, you know, it does not mean that I have mastered this all. I have not. I definitely have not. I'm struggling. I'm stumbling all the time, and a big part of the motivation, I have to admit that, you know, doing this particular episode was for me to help myself, to remind myself of these things, so I wouldn't maybe stumble so often, or if I stumble, maybe I manage not to hurt myself or hurt my loved ones. So I'm doing this as much to help myself as to help you guys, to remind myself, because we need, you know, wisdom is remembering. That's one of those things. We can, you know how it is. We read a book and we're like enlightened, like, wow, this book has revealed all the secrets of life. My life is changed. I'm a changed person. And then, you know, a week goes by and you're back to who you were. Same, you watch a great movie, same thing happens. Documentary, whatever, and you feel like, oh, now I get it. Now I get it. What's wrong in my life? Now I'm gonna. But no, it's not so easy. It's not so easy. Those routines, our ego, our mind, it's a hell of a struggle to get that changed. So, Gilles, hey man, Matthias from Germany, Peter Sitmak says, let's bring that on. Peter says, I'm gonna make my mirror on the wall. Do it. Show me, send me a picture when you've done it. Vincent says, I will craft a mirror on the wall and start to help myself with it. So cool. Great. Man, your comments are great. I love it. Amar says, I was never interested with music theory till I started watch one specific piano player, and somehow it's helping me to be motivated to learn not only guitar but to understand music. Congratulations, that's just so beautiful. It's great. Jacopo writes, thank you very much. You are the right episode at the right time. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. Great. Great. Thank you so much for your comments. I don't have words anymore. So that's a wrap. Time for bed. Remember, my alarm gets off in less than 7 hours. Take care now, and look after your loved ones. And if, because it goes later today for me, if I would stumble tomorrow morning, I won't despair. I will climb up the next morning. That's how it goes. So look after your loved ones. Thank you everyone for your support. If you know somebody who you feel that this video would be helpful for, please share it to that person, okay? And thank you all for your support. Once again, peace, love, and good music. Till next time.